I almost missed my train. By the time I squeezed into the last carriage, it was packed. I never thought I'd find a seat. Then, I spotted one, right beside a man. People glanced at the empty seat, then quietly walked past it. Nobody wanted to sit there. I didn't understand why. So, I sat down. That's when I noticed his eyelids had been glued shut, not stitched, not bandaged, glued. Yet somehow, he knew exactly when the train slowed. He turned toward the right door before it opened. He never stumbled. He never hesitated, almost as if he could still see. My station arrived. As I stepped onto the platform, an elderly woman hurried after me. She glanced back toward the train, then quietly said, "You shouldn't talk to that man." I frowned. "Why?" She shook her head. "Just don't." Before I could ask anything else, the doors closed. I couldn't stop thinking about him. The next evening, I looked for him. He was sitting in the same seat. This time, I sat beside him without hesitation. We talked for almost half an hour. Work, books, the weather, the train always running late. He had a quiet sense of humor. I found myself laughing more than once. Then, completely out of nowhere, he smiled. "You're the first person who's spoken to me in months." I smiled awkwardly. He continued, "You're very kind." Something about those words made me uncomfortable, because they weren't true. I hadn't sat beside him, just to keep him company. I wanted an answer. Before I could stop myself, I finally asked, "Why are your eyes glued shut?" He became completely silent. Slowly, he turned his face toward me. His eyes never opened, but somehow, I felt as though he was looking straight at me. Every polite conversation, every laugh, and every smile suddenly felt dishonest. I lowered my eyes and waited. Before he could answer, the train suddenly slowed down. It wasn't a station, but the doors opened anyway. A group of heavily tattooed men stepped inside. They didn't speak. They quietly spread across the carriage. That's when I noticed the man's eyelids were trembling, not from fear, from effort, as though he was fighting to keep them closed. I looked back at him. He whispered, because I saw more than I should have. The train began moving again. None of the tattooed men looked at us, not once. But as they walked past, every single one of them smiled.